Board of County Commissioners acts as a quasi-judicial body when it hears requests for rezoning and conditional use permits. Applicants must provide competent, substantial evidence establishing facts or expert witness opinion testimony showing that the request meets the zoning code and comprehensive plan criteria. Opponents must also testify as to facts or provide expert testimony whether they like or dislike a request is not competent evidence. The board must then decide whether the evidence demonstrates consistency and compatibility with the comprehensive plan and the existing rules in the zoning ordinance, property adjacent to the property to be rezoned, and the actual development of the surrounding area. The board cannot consider speculation, non-expert opinion testimony, or poll the audience by asking those in favor or opposed to stand up or raise their hands. If a commissioner has had communications regarding a rezoning or conditional use permit request before the board, the commissioner must disclose the subject of the communication and the identity of the person, group, or entity with whom the communication took place before the board takes action on the request. Likewise, if a commissioner has made a site visit, inspection, or investigation, the commissioner must disclose that fact before the board takes action on the request. Each applicant is allowed a total of 15 minutes to present their request, unless time is extended by majority vote of the board. The applicant may reserve any portion of the 15 minutes for rebuttal. Other speakers are allowed 5 minutes to speak. Speakers may not pass their time to someone else in order to give that person more time to speak.
Thank you. Do I have Miss Robin Magnelli here?
I'm Rico Magnelli. I'm the minister.
I'm sorry, they misspelled your name wrong.
That's okay.
Well, usually I say it wrong, but now I didn't. So, sir, we're glad to have you, and if you would like to bless this evening, it'd be wonderful.
I'd love to. Gracious Heavenly Father, we are certainly grateful for your bounty, your graciousness upon our country and upon our state, and certainly our wonderful county of Brevard, and all the items that are on the docket this evening for our commissioners to consider. We're grateful for your guidance and your wisdom, and that you can bring clarity to each situation. And Lord, you can continue to bless these proceedings and the benefits to really the entire county, all the residents of the county. And Father, as you work within each and every individual, we're grateful for how you bring things to clearness and clarity and precision, and with great benefit to all. And we pray for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. We have a quorum. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Mr. Tobia.
Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do not have any consent agenda. Commissioners, has everybody been able to turn in all their disclosures? We're good? Okay, then we're going to, Mr. Jeffrey, you were going to.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item G1, Tracey and Teresa Higginbotham request to change the zoning classification from GU to AU. Application number is 23Z00024 on tax account 231-27331, 231-9995, and 231-9996. This is located in District 1. Per the applicant, this item will be automatically tabled to the August 14th, 2023 P&Z meeting and the September 7th, 2023 Board of County Commissioners meeting.
Thank you, sir. And you did request I did a table motion for both these items. Can I have a motion to table G1?
So moved, Madam Chairperson.
Motion by Commissioner Still. Second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. May I have another motion for G2? For
Madam
table.
Chair, this item has been withdrawn by the applicant. No action is needed.
Oh, no motion? Thank you, sir.
So item G3, James H. and Kristine F. Sanford requests a CUP for alcoholic beverage beer and wine only for on-premise consumption in conjunction with a bar in a BU-1 zoning classification, application numbers 23Z00013, tax account numbers 2316090 and 2316106, located in District 1. Madam Chair, if you look at the agenda report, there are some conditions that the board may want to consider part of their vote this evening.
Okay, Ms. Sanford, you didn't turn a card in, but are you good with the requested items that was given by P&Z? Okay. So it's a wonderful thing that y'all are doing. So if you guys, it's my district, if someone would give us a motion, it'd be great.
I'll make a motion.
And that includes the P&Zs?
Yes.
Okay.
With the recommendations, I'm sorry.
That is the P&Z's recommendations. Jeffrey, is that yours?
This item did not go to P&Z. It went to
Okay.
the Port St. John Special District Board.
Okay. So with the special district.
Sorry, with the special district.
It's my fault. I have a motion by Commissioner Feltner, second.
Second.
Second
Madam
by,
Chair, if I may, the second bullet, since we were just making, this is a suggestion for the board's consideration. In the second bullet, it just says limit the hours of operation, but there's no time frame for that. So I don't know if that's something that you all would want to consider, putting a time frame there, or if you would want to remove that from your motion.
I think remove it because there's a noise ordinance already.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, just for clarity.
Hold. Hold, Mr. Goodson, Commissioner Goodson. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Item G4.
Item G4, Madam Chair, is CP Venture 5 AMC LLC requests a CUP for alcohol beverages, full liquor on premise consumption in conjunction with a cigar bar in a PUD zoning classification. Application numbers 23Z00018, tax account numbers 2627467, located in District 4.
Commissioner Feltner.
I'll make a motion to approve the CUP.
I have a motion. I have a second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Item G5, John, Earl, and Chelsea Dominique Bassford request to change the zoning classification from BU-1-A to AU. Application number is 23Z00020. Tax account number is 2003014, located in District 1.
I have a card.
On G5.
Okay. I have a card on this item. Do I have David Bassford? Are you the applicant, sir? Yes, ma'am. I was getting ready to say it's a good fit. Are you good, or you want to come up? Or okay. Can I get a motion to approve, Commissioners?
So moved, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, sir. Motion by Commissioner Steele. Second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Item 6, Madam Chair, Church of Deliverance, Inc. requests to change the zoning classification from INL to
cards on this one.
RU1-7. Application number is 23Z00027. Tax account number is 2417019, located in District 2.
I have no cards on this. Commissioner Goodson, sir.
I'd just like a motion for approval, Madam Chair, please.
Motion by Commissioner Goodson, second by Commissioner Steele. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. G7, sir.
Item G7, Rebecca and Alan Potter request to change the zoning classification from RR-1 and AU to all AU. Application number is 23Z00011. Tax account number is 3006359, located in District 3.
Commissioner Tobia, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No objection here, so a motion to change zoning classification from RR1 and AU to all AU, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Feltner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next item.
Item G8, Madam Chair, is Robin Bland and Scott Jurgensen with the Brevard County Fire Department request to change the zoning classification from AU to GMLI. Application number is 23Z00030. Tax account number is 2318407, located in District 2.
Commissioner Goodson, I don't have any cards, sir.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for approval, Madam Chair.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Goodson, second by Commissioner Feltner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, passes 5-0. Sir?
We have one card on this one.
Madam Chair, item G9, Terrence A. Cronin Jr. and Kathleen M. Hubbard requests a CUP for a wireless telecommunication facility and broadcast towers in a GU zoning classification. Application number is 23Z00015. Tax account number is 2324077, located in District 1. Before I turn it over, Madam Chair, this is a CUP for a cell tower. There will be infrastructure improvements that are required, such as access and other infrastructure, and that will be addressed during the site plan process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have Miss Mary Solk. Ma'am, it's a good fit. It's in my district, so I think it's probably going to get approved, so. Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Tobia.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Goodson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Madam Chair, item G10, Stephen J. and Pacharee Ellison request to change the zoning classification from RU-1-7 to SR. Application number is 23Z00017. Tax account number 3008319, located in District 3.
No cards. Commissioner Tobia, sir?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to make a motion to change of zoning classification from RU1-7 to SR, Madam Chair.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Feltner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item G11 and G12 are companion applications. I'll read them both into the record at the same time. However, they will need separate votes. So G11 is Afficap Cocoa LLC, requests a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, 23S.03, to change the future land use designation from Res 4 and NC to Res 15. Application number is 23SS00003, tax accounts 2424005 and 2441241, located in District 1. Item G12 is Afficap Cocoa LLC, requests a change of zoning classification from AU to RU2-10. Application number is 23Z00028. Tax account number is 2424005 and 2441241, also located in District 1.
Thank you, sir. I have a card from Mr. Javier Fernandez. Sir, it's a good fit. You're just doing a retention pond. It's so easy tonight. Commissioners, can I have a motion to approve item G11?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Feltner, second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item G12, it's a companion. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Tobia.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Feltner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Sir?
Item G12, Madam Chair, Alan B. MacIntyre Living Trust requests a change of zoning classification from BU-1 to BU-2. Application number is 23Z00032. Tax account number is 2316311, located in District 2.
Thank you. Commissioner Goodson, I do have one card on this.
Yes.
Melanie MacIntyre.
Is it 5 minutes?
Yes.
Hello. I have some photos to show. I know that in this particular zoning request came about because someone wants to purchase the property and move down the street. They're on the same street. They just need to move down the street to have a little bit more space. They have a beautiful facility now. They keep it perfectly clean. They're quiet. They close at 4 p.m. They'll be across the street from a vehicle repair shop, and they'll be next door to a landscaping company. So I'm not really sure why there would be an issue moving it to BU2. But I can show pictures of the place that wants to purchase it, and I can show pictures of the place now.
You have 5 minutes, ma'am. You're welcome
Okay.
to use your time however you want.
Okay,
Do you
can I
want to
just
hand
show
them
this to
out,
you?
or?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do he's going to help you with an overhead, dear, so yeah.
This is the facility now. This is the facility across the street. We're trying to get it changed so that we can have this. Lovely sign. The lovely building, well-maintained, quiet. Closing at 4 o'clock. That's all I had.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Goodson, sir, this is your territory.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion for denial. It doesn't fit into the other residents. Her pictures showed no storage, and she wants it for large vehicles, dry cleaning plants, possibly warehousing, storage yards, major auto repair, and I would like to make a motion for denial.
Second, Madam Chairperson.
Okay, I have a motion to deny by Commissioner Goodson, a second by Commissioner Steele. All in favor of the denial, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Passes 4-1 with Commissioner Feltner in agreement to pass it. We understood that, right? Okay. Deny one's confused me a bit. Okay, G14.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 14 is Norfolk Parkway LLC requests an amendment to an existing BDP and a BU2 zoning classification. Application numbers 23Z00012, tax account numbers 2802676, located in District 5.
Okay, Commissioner Still, I do have one card. Do you want me to call it first, sir?
Please.
Okay, Mr. Stephen Famfrey. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Steve Frampus. I am West Melbourne Deputy Mayor, and I am the Sawgrass Lakes President, which is the community of 933 right next door to the resident, the property in question. Seems like we're coming full circle on this. There's quite a bit of history on this property. Looks like Representative Altman's going to be coming back here to the commission in 2024. He was actually the commissioner in 1991 who was part of this commission that forced this community landfill closed. The commission at that time spent about $500,000 on refunding to the property owner and to redo the land to restore it from where the dump was. Moving forward to the prior zoning in February 4th, 2021, the zoning was changed from Res 2 and NC to CC. The developer and Mr. Moya met with the homeowners of Sawgrass Lakes and promised the BDP would be put into place, and obviously that occurred because that's what they're trying to change now. There's multiple reasons this was put into place. It was done so with just cause. You know, Mr. Richardson can attest that West Melbourne refused services to this property because of its history. The engineering report submitted to the transmittal to the state when that went up for the rezoning. It says in this report that 3 to 5 feet below ground, all 7 of the test drillings were terminated because they hit debris. So if we're going to put structures up on this property and have to have drainage, there's no way they're going to be able to do that without removing the debris, and the debris is reported to be 28 feet high. So that would be a lot of removal of the debris. Yeah, that was just a quick history of it. And in closing, I know that sometimes developers and us politicians see differences in the binding development agreements. And I would hope that, you know, we put this in place for a reason. I would hate to see that all this land get evacuated and all the money that the county has spent on this to make it where it is to go to waste. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Steele?
I move for approval.
Okay. Let me ask you a quick question, because we've seen this a bunch. Did you want to do a traffic study on it, though?
Well, I think there's a variety of studies that are going to be done no matter what happens with the project. So, I mean, you've got traffic studies, but I mean, if I don't have a problem with making that as a part of the motion.
Okay, I
Yes.
think it would help you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to approve with a traffic study that needs to be done. Mr. Moya?
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
No,
Op-
no.
No? Well, I was getting ready to say no in a second, but you got it. 4 in favor of, and Commissioner Goodson not in favor of. Okay. Item number,
Madam Chair, may I ask, staff, are we clear on what's required by a traffic study there? The current existing BDP requires that the developer provide a traffic study detailing required roadway improvements at the time of site plan submittal. And are you understanding that the
Yes,
traffic
so
study required by?
Yes, so that traffic study would need to be done at site plan submittal. And then any improvements associated with that would need to be approved by the city of West
Permitted through the
Melbourne.
city of West Melbourne.
Because I believe it is their roadway. So I just want to make sure that the motion was to include the BDP, the modifications to the BDP
Their
to
new
allow for the
BDP.
mini storage.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Goodson, you're wanting to say something, I
I
think.
want to ask a question. Are we going to do away with all the conditions under the previous BDP? Is that what we're doing, and just now have a traffic study?
No, I think they did all these changes, so
I
we're
saw
putting
those,
back
but
in.
my question is, we're not doing away with those, are we?
All of the existing conditions will remain. The only changes will be that self-storage mini warehouse facility will be an allowed use now, and the buildings and structures will be limited to 25 feet in height, sir.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
So let me do the motion one more time. You're making a motion to approve with the BDP
Correct.
and with the traffic study.
And the traffic study
is
is
already going to be
included
included in there.
I'm sorry, you
So
know, I
that's
didn't,
part of-
okay, I didn't see it in
That's
there.
part of the situation
Perfect.
that has to be done.
All right, wonderful.
It's number 10
Right,
in the
yes, ma'am.
BDP, unless you want something different or more than what's required in the BDP
No, sir, I was just
currently.
looking through it, and so.
No, I
you.
understand exactly why the chairperson was wanting it, but it was already included in there.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion to approve with the BDP, and I have a second by Mr. Tobia. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, passes 5-0. Okay, item G15.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 15 is Charles Stephen Douglas and Deborah K. Douglas, trustees, and Sandra J. Douglas request a change of zoning classification from IU-1 to BU-2. Application numbers 23Z00023. Tax account number is 3010512, located in District 3. Madam Chair, when this item was heard at P&Z, the recommendation was for approval with a BDP limiting to all BU1 uses, and the only BU2 use would be mini storage and boat and RV storage.
Okay, Commissioner Tobia, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I ask if the applicant is here?
I do not have a card, but do we have Mr. Douglas or Miss Douglas here? Okay. You're who, ma'am?
I'm Brittany LeCun.
Oh, I got your name in here too. Before you leave, if you'd fill out a card, it would be great. I'd
Okay.
appreciate it. Okay, Ms. LeCun?
LeCun.
Okay.
May I ask a question? Are you okay? You didn't contact my office, and I didn't contact you. Are you okay with those conditions?
I would like the BDP to be purpose used for storage and boat RVs, as well as a condition use for truck and trailer rentals.
Can I punt back to staff?
I believe
Please,
that's a
sir.
BU1.
Didn't
Was that
educate it.
included in the recommendation from
It was not included in the
the truck and
recommendation.
trailer was the
Correct.
not?
Correct. It's a BU2 use, and it was not included in the recommendation.
And, Madam Chair, there was actually one member of the board that had a concern with the limitations on the BU2 stuff. And and since I didn't hear from the applicant, I tell you, I only speak for myself, but I'm comfortable with going forward with the recommendation of the planning and zoning. But I'm also willing to table this, to do a little more work, to see what, to hear your argument out of it. So I'm going to leave that. Obviously, I only can make the motion.
I'm fine with that, as long as we could add the trailer and truck rentals.
But again, that wasn't in the recommendation.
Okay.
So I'm willing to listen to you on that and to look around what the neighbors have, but you never contacted my office to make the case for that.
Sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Well, it's fine. That's fine. And what I'm saying is, I'm more than willing to table, do a little bit investigation, and tell this to the next meeting if the board is willing to do that.
Okay.
And maybe that fits. I just read that one of the members, Mr. Hodgers, brought up that very point, but he was in the minority, and it was a 10-to-1 vote. So I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but I'm not comfortable without speaking with you and going through the transcripts a little bit more.
Okay.
So my question to you is, would you rather have it proved without that, or would you rather have it tabled till a later date?
Tabled till a later date.
Okay. Motion to table?
Yes, can I get a,
The next zoning meeting would be August 3rd.
are you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure I'd like to make a motion to table G15 till August 3rd agenda.
Okay. Motion and a second by Commissioner Feltner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Just need to contact your
You're
office.
more than welcome to.
Item G16, Madam Chair, has been withdrawn by the applicant. No action is necessary. So item G17, Legacy West Melbourne LLC requests a change of zoning classification from AU to RU2-15. The property is 2.76 acres located on the west side of John Rodes Blvd, approximately 600 feet south of Fortune Place. Application number is 23Z00025. Tax account number is 2704610, located in District 5.
Commissioner Still, this is probably the most interesting one I've seen on my whole time here. You're on.
Well, it is an interesting case. This is a multi-jurisdictional, well, it's a zoning request for our zoning for RU 215 on a small piece of property. But it's convoluted with a multi-jurisdictional piece of property that could be developed at the same point in time. And you'll have West Melbourne involved in it, you'll have the county involved in it, and it's quite an interesting case. But I think the bottom line is that planning and zoning had no, they basically recommended to approve this zoning request and move forward with it. Personally speaking, just before I make a motion, Bruce, I sure wish you would see if you could make a better way to get this done, because you got a mess on your hands, and it's just the way it is. But that's neither here nor there. That's a business decision that you guys can make. But you come back to us later, at least from my standpoint, there's going to be some issues that need to be resolved. But based on simply a zoning request for RU 215 the way it is right now, I think that there's a case that we could approve it. But once again, it's convoluted, and you got some issues that you're going to have to deal with that are not going to be a lot of fun for you. But once again, that's a business decision. So I'm going to move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Steele.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. You're getting all the fun ones tonight.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. We never usually have this many either. G18, sir.
All right, Madam Chair, item G18, Redfish Water Disposal LLC requests a removal of an existing BDP in a PIP zoning classification 23Z00019. Tax account number is 2311419, located in District 1.
None on this, right? Okay. Commissioners, this is in my district, and I'm opposed to removing the BDP. It was changed to this, and it's right next to residential to be with the BDP, so I'm not in favor of removing the BDP.
Want a motion to?
Motion to deny it, yeah.
Right. I'll make the motion to deny removing the BDP.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Feltner to deny, second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0 with denial. Item G19.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mina Street LLC requests to change the zoning classification from RU 1-13 to RU 2-10. The property is .21 acres located on the north side of South Court, approximately 600 feet west of North Highway A1A. Application number is 23Z000026. Tax account number is 271-16147, located in District 5. Just to update the board, P&Z recommended approval of RU 210 with a BDP capping the lease terms to a minimum 90 days.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Still, this is your district again, sir.
Okay,
But I do have two cards, so.
yeah, let's hear those folks.
Yes, sir. Mr. Robert Pope. Okay, and right after Mr. Pope will be Scott Wilderman.
5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. Obviously, we have a history with this residence. And in my opinion, if you change the zoning, I think it opens the door for a bed and breakfast. Am I correct? And also for a boarding house. The research I found does that. I think you should leave it as it is. It's been that way for 60 years. There's no advantage. It doesn't hurt tax. There's two different addresses in that location. I don't see the advantage of changing it. The neighborhood doesn't want it. Although these people work, they couldn't be here this evening. They went the first time and they were shot down, obviously, so they're a little disappointed. But I'm here to voice my opinion. I live next door to this place. You have no idea what's gone on there. No idea. So that's all I have to say. I hope you'll take that into consideration.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Scott Wilderman. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Scott Wiederman. And believe me, I've been called a lot. That's right, it's a weird one. I represent Mina Street LLC. It's actually Cole, Megan, and Warren Nash. Warren's the 18-month-old there. He's probably better off up here than I am. I'm here and give some background facts, of course, but we are asking for approval. We are okay with the binding development plan for the 90 days. I know there's been discussion back and forth and all those things that can happen. The short story being long, this property has been a duplex for over 60 years. It actually is file number and variance application number 60 for Brevard County, signed by Mr. McLaughlin back in the day when it was brought for purposes of being multifamily. So for 60 years, it has been nothing but a duplex, single-family residential duplex under the various zonings. In 1973, there was the entire neighborhood change. Everything became the current zoning of the R113, RU113, and RU111. Continuing now through 2006, if you go back to some of the tax records, it's always been a duplex. It's still a duplex. The issue has always been then what do you do with a duplex that is 60 years there with a zoning change that made them the non-conforming use. Current zoning allows for the use that is for the rezoning, which is the resort dwelling with the use conditions. The use conditions now in this case is going to be the 90-day lease minimum. Not a problem for any of us. The new zoning designation does not actually allow in any other overuse. It's still going to be a duplex. It's still going to be single family, and we still do agree to the condition for that designation change. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has. I do have a presentation if anybody wants to see the old application for variance 60 years ago. I brought a copy if anybody matters, but at this point, unless there's some questions, we intend to continue to use it the way it's always been used. no real changes, and if the 90 days is sufficient for everybody, that's been the plan anyway, and leases have always been under that sort of guide. Thank you.
Madam Chairperson.
Yes, sir, this is yours.
Thank you so
I would
much.
struggle with it, so I can't wait to hear what you're doing.
I'm not struggling with it at all. I wanted to ask Morris a question. With all this preemption going on for the state government in regards to the issue of a potential 90-day scenario, wouldn't the Airbnb preemption override that?
Our current regulations, our resort dwelling regulations are grandfathered in because they existed prior to the 2011 cutoff. So currently, those regulations apply to this property, and because the binding development plan is a voluntary agreement between the property owner and the county, I think that would be enforceable. But I understand what you're saying with regard to the preemptions, but our resort dwelling regulations are grandfathered.
Okay, well, that's a legal question, first of all, but I think the overriding problem that I have is I know that street very, very well. That is a small, tiny street. There has been complaint after complaint after complaint after complaint of those folks, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but I'm just telling you what's been coming into the office, where people were renting it as Airbnb and continue to rent as Airbnb with obnoxious loud parties, and this is just the tip of the iceberg with the whole Airbnb scenario. And I can tell you that I absolutely am appalled by what the state of Florida is doing with the preemption of the Airbnb. I am frightened to death that it's ruining our neighborhoods, ruining our communities. And I think this is, even though that there was a recommendation by planning and zoning, I can't in good conscience, knowing that fire trucks can't get around there and turn around, and the next thing you know, we have another person coming in for a zoning request for a 90-day thing. So you got a small little dinky street, old neighborhood, infrastructure that's just totally dilapidated, and really, it's a sad situation. I understand the problem that's there, but I cannot support this and would move for denial.
May I respond to briefly, Commissioner?
It's up to the commissioner.
Certainly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, a couple of things. First of all, anybody that I have ever dealt with in front of this commission or any place else where I've practiced law is very clear. If somebody doesn't like it, the complaints and things that come in without verification, I get. They happen to us all. I'm concerned that that be one of the issues without proof of those things. I have also heard, certainly talking with the client about VRBO and these types of things, there's not been a listing for those. It was said that there was an Airbnb listing. It turns out it's a fake listing in order to drum up a concern, not by my clients. I don't believe there has ever been an incident on this property or on this street that has had any problem with fire, rescue, police, or anybody else. I don't speak for whether or not the Florida legislature or anybody else is doing the right things. I agree with the attorney, Mr. Morrison, that, or Mr. Richardson, there you go. All right, well. Yeah, right. And I've known him for 25 years, that we're voluntarily getting into that. The suggestion of how to make sure that it's not used for the concerns of the commissioner was joint between us and the county. So I get the concerns. I have bigger concerns that if we've had this dwelling and we're a non-conforming use and we're going to continue to be that way, what's the next step for these folks or not if they can't continue to use it the way it's continuously been used and not for the purpose that is the concern? We're willing to not use it for the purpose concerned. So that's my reply. I get the concern. And I think my owners do.
No, and Mr. Wiederman, I absolutely understand your concerns. But this whole county is aflame with this kind of stuff. And it's happening everywhere. And it is a cancer that is really, really of a major concern to me. And the state is taking away local control, and we can't fight these things, and we got real problems with it. And the only thing that I can say in a situation like this, specifically when the infrastructure is not, in my opinion, proper for what we're doing here, is that I'm going to ask my colleagues and commissioners to deny the application. That will be up to them.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I wouldn't approve it in my district either, sir, so I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Goodson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Denied 5-0.
Thank you all for your dealing with this tonight. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Great. G20, I think I need a motion to table. Are you going to read it to the record, or?
Madam Chair, I'm going to read this into the record just for the dates. So G20, Samir and Eham Etani, revocable living trust, requests a change of zoning classification from AU to EU. Application number 23Z00031. Tax account number is 2101052. The board has some options, and one of those options is to table the request to the August 14th P&Z meeting and the September 7th BOCC meeting.
Yeah, Commissioners, can I have a motion to table it to the next zoning meeting so I can reach out to these people?
Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Feltner. Second by Commissioner Tobia. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. I'm impressed. Okay, item I-1, Commissioner Tobia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On November 15, 2022, the board directed staff to add a land use designation study in the South Beaches to our contract with Bonnie C. Landry and Associates, PA. Unfortunately, the study is no longer of use to the board after the passage of CS for HB 1489, creating an area of critical concern over the South Beach area. Therefore, I'd like to propose that the board authorize staff to direct the consultant to cease work on this land use designation study and refocus on the statutory requirements for the area of critical concern. Let me be very clear. What I'm asking doesn't increase density, doesn't change zoning regulations. Administratively, this doesn't take away any property rights. This does not amend the coastal element of Comprehensive Plan Policy 7.1. This does not destroy female land crab population in the South Beaches. If you have any questions, I can be more than willing to answer. If I can't answer, I certainly will punt this one over to staff. So motion will be, after discussion, to authorize staff to direct the consultant to cease work on the South Beach study and to initiate contract amendment and/or task orders as needed to expand the scope of work of the consultant to provide assistance in compliance with the statutory requirements for the area of critical state concern. That's the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. I'm in support of this as well. I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Still. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, we're going to move into, excuse me, board reports. County Manager.
No report.
Thank you, sir. County Attorney.
I have no report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Goodson.
I have a very simple one. July is Park and Recs Month. I would just like to give recognition to our department for all they do for our community. They manage many parks, campgrounds, natural and educational centers, beach access, school athletic sites, and sanctuaries and conservation areas. We certainly keep them busy and they make us proud. Thank you for everything you do for us in our county.
Thank you, sir.
I'm trying to be a John Tobia in training, John.
Well, you got to put pictures of people out there. Never mind, I won't say the rest of it.
Vice chair.
Commissioner Feltner.
I have no report.
Thank you. Commissioner Steele.
No report.
Thank you. I have one little housekeeping item that the clerk wants me to mention, that Commissioner Steele is going to replace Commissioner Zonka on the VAB.
He is going to replace Commissioner Pritchett.
Sorry.
Replace you, I believe.
Almost did it twice, right? Okay, I don't know how I ended up on that anyways. Okay, so you're replacing me on the board. We're good? Okay, or we would have come back again.
They're going to make you sign little pieces of paper with your little name 3 times.
Yeah.
We
Commissioner Tobia, board reports, then, sir, if you would go right into public comments, that would be wonderful.
Yes, Madam Chair. I begin with today is National Barbershop Music Appreciation Day. It is a yearly event to celebrate barbershop music, a style of voice-only a cappella music. This day, to be clear, there's a controversy out there. I don't want to confuse it with another barbershop-themed event, the National Barbershop Quartet Day, which is April the 11th. So I don't want to fan any flames here. But people of all ages, genders, and nationalities come together to perform at various public and private events, singing melodies across genres. So let's delve into Florida. Useless Florida fact. It is estimated that there's over $2 trillion, I had to look that up, $2 trillion worth of lost treasure within 60 miles of the coast of Florida. So metal detectors, people, good luck finding all that stuff. This day in Florida history, this is a really sad one here. On this day in 1927, Prohibition officials in Miami dumped more than $250,000 of alcohol in the Gulf Stream. This is about $4.3 million adjusted for inflation. Very sad up there. So on to a good one here. I would like to recognize Michael Boonstra. He is a Library 2 genealogy supervisor. I didn't know we had such a thing, but we do, with over 20 years of experience. So let me tell you what Mike does, not only for us, but the county as a whole. He's a dedicated employee, always willing to take on a challenge. He is passionate about the field and serving our community. He is regular, pinged by community members and other departments to unearth some facts or details about Brevard County. He responds swiftly and accurately. Michael can be depended on to share a smile and inspire others. His actions speak louder, and this year he pulled off a huge success with the Brevard County Library System's 50th celebration. This May 2023, the Florida Historical Society honored Michael Boonstra with the Dorothy Dodd Outstanding Archivist Award at their annual event in Lakeland, Florida. And when not working, Michael loves to travel, work in the yard here in Florida, and a cabin in North Carolina. Michael is an avid workout fiend and enjoys time with his pup. Michael, are you here? Thank you for all you do. If you want to come up here and... you want to give us the 2 seconds of genealogy here?
Well, sure, yeah. First of all, I do want to say thank you, appreciate it. It's an honor. Thank you for being recognized. And I also want to point out my members of our team back here that came out to support me tonight. Wendy Bost, our Library Services Director, and Wanda Brown, who is Director of Titusville and Mims Library, North Area Director, and of course, Jim back there as well. So I just want to thank you guys for your support of library services. And as you know, we are a lot more than books these days. We've got our mobile library bringing programs to all kinds of people, our creative lab teaching people technology, our meeting rooms are providing people with meeting spaces that are desperately needed in the county. So we're a lot more than books, but as far as books, our summer reading program, we have got probably the highest numbers we've ever had in the door, and it's been a great summer with that. So thank you guys for your support and recognizing us.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, into public comment, I have 2 cards. The first one is Sandra Sullivan. Name and address, please.
Good evening, Sandra Sullivan. So first I would really am very appreciative of the comments on local rule on short-term rentals. Secondly, on I-1, what a great thing to celebrate an area of critical concern for South Beaches, so important in the context of SB 102, Live Local, which ironically takes away local rule. I wanted to revisit the BCC 97, which is a policy for public comments, and read off a section here. just to revisit this in the context of the vote that was taken for Merritt Island. So under Section G of BCC 9.7, it says, with the exception of emergency items, the board will take no action under public comment section, but can refer the matter to another meeting agenda or request a staff report. So just to clarify that from my comments made in the last meeting. Now, having received through Records Request a copy of the RFP, it concerns me very much that this study is not impartial because a political action committee, special interests, are advising the consultant on this report. And so, whereas the consultant is responsible for consulting with Merritt Island Preservation Committee, hereafter committee. So I want to bring this up also in the context of the political action committee members, 3 of which are MIRA members. So concern was expressed to the Department of Ethics, and so the concern is regarding Florida Statutes 112.313, that an officer or an employee of an agency will not have a continuing or frequently recurring conflict between his and her private interests and the performance of their public duties that would impede a full and faithful discharge of his or her duties. So we have a realtor who does sales, we have a developer, and we have somebody with development and property in the area that the developers are looking at. And then it's come to my attention that they met this week at the Merritt Island Library. These are 3 board members meeting, talking about policy or city charter that is being written and other documents being written that includes the MIRA area. So is sunshine being violated? So I would really appreciate if one of you would initiate and ask
Thank you for your
for
comments.
legal opinion.
Mr. Charles Tovey. Oh, yes, of
Just
course.
to clarify again, Mr. Richardson, the Board of County Commissioners, at any time, we can vote on any item we'd like because we can always override our own policy unless it has to be advertised.
The board can waive or suspend its own policies unless there's a requirement for advertisement or something like that. Also,
Correct.
the policy that was read from pertains only to the public's comment section of the agenda, not board reports, for example.
Thank you, but that's just the authority of the Board of County Commissions. And Mr. Richardson, if whatever Merritt Island does, it's going to become a vote before the people that live in that area, correct? It's always up to them.
Ultimately, if the state legislature adopts a local bill, that will schedule a referendum vote for the local voters, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're not making any decisions on that. That'll be totally up to the people if it gets,
The county commission is simply funding it.
Thank you.
That's the way these work. They're usually led by steering
They are.
committees or groups of local citizens. We're just paying the freight.
right, because if citizens need something and we're able to do it, we're always wanting to help citizens get their needs across. Thank you, sir.
Question. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Mr. Goodson?
Okay. Question. The steering committee, is there any requirements by state law or county law that says they cannot be of this group or that group, that you're aware of?
No, they're a private body. I had issued an opinion. I think there may be some confusion. I had said that MIRA, meaning the Merritt Island Redevelopment Agency, as a dependent special district of the Board of County Commissioners, could not fund the feasibility study. Right. That has been construed by some to mean that the individual members of MIRA can't contribute their money towards the steering committee's efforts, and that's incorrect. That's not my opinion.
So by those 3 or 4 that might be on the board, if they're on the committee for the approval of the city or unapproval of the city, that's not a violation of anything you're aware of.
No, they may do that. They need to be careful not to discuss business that's likely to come before MIRA for a vote at those meetings because of sunshine. Okay. But they can certainly participate in both of those with no inherent conflict.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Mr. Tovey.
Ready?
We are ready for you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Charles Tovey, 2555 Roberts Road.
I was the first one here for the meeting. I filled out my card. I put it on the thing. I shouldn't have to wait until, but that's okay. Put on my card about water rights. 2555 Roberts Road, Melbourne. All the area is being developed around me, and I've addressed most of the other items except for there's one that I can't address, and Palm Shores has nothing to do with me. I'm county. I need water. City water. Everybody else has city water, and Jimmy Hula is about to develop, and I talked to them, and they have no problem with extending the water to me, and I talked to the guy behind me. They need water as well. I've been isolated from everything because of Palm Shores and their plans and development, and I'd like to use the thing while I still have some time. I have some immediate pictures I want to show you that need attention. It's on. Thank you. Appreciate your assistance. This is Dog Beach. That board, the board that's on there, it's cracked. Somebody leans on it, elderly people, and it's a crowded area. And kids, somebody could fall over there, and it's more than a few feet down to there. That's one of the turtles, right? Dead squirrel, that's what's going to happen to the turtles. And this is all recent photographs, and they have timestamps on them as well. But if they're not being taken care of, and it's because I care, and it's because of the people that do care, we have a world left. And it was given to us as responsibility and American human being, Christian citizens. My adversary is the devil and all the characteristics of the devil. And I live a spiritual life, and I don't live a worldly life. And a lot of my life depends on my spirituality and its focus. I'm not a worldly person. I'm a weirdo, stranger, unorthodox, and thank you very much. I give you the same respect. Appreciate everything, and I have more, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, I hope, with or without anything. I'll be here, and I appreciate everybody for being a human being, and excuse any kind of demeanor I might have that's not pleasant to anybody. I don't mean direction to anybody, unless it's Mayor McCormick and Sheriff Ivey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tobia. I will make a promise to you. I will shift your card to the top next meeting. So I just did it randomly, so you'll be first next time. I apologize. I apologize. Madam Chair, I'm going to pass it over to you to adjourn it.
You could have served that. I call the meeting adjourned.
Thanks.
Good evening.
Thank you. I need that gavel. I need to see.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.